Am I the jerk for having almost no code in the group project? I am currently a computer science student at university. We had the task to create a project. Originally, we were supposed to be a group of 4. However, 2 of the group members realized they had a missing requirement and had to leave the group. Fine, the remaining member and I decided to do it alone. Month 1. For the entire month, I was doing the planning and early coding models on my own because the other person said she had to do other projects in other courses and would help once she was done with that. Fine by me. I, on the other hand, have classes that constantly need the same attention, or else I fall behind. I had the same constant amount of exercises to do and things to study for exams. I did the planning, created a database with SQL, not a perfect one, because I did not have the time either. I created a connection to that database with Python and wrote functions to access that database. Month 2. Throughout the first half of the month, my partner was finally done with the other projects. She did not have any exams in those classes, so she had a lot more free time than I did. I still had the same, even more due to the classes getting more complex, workload. She then complained that the database I created was not perfect and changed 3 things, making it look like she worked hours to fix my mistakes. I checked per GitHub. She literally just changed one integer to character and corrected some spelling mistakes. Month 3. She complained that she could not understand my code and overwrote and changed everything. I had marked things as do not touch. I will do that later. She did those things anyway. Now she acts like I did nothing. I explained that I did the complete foundation of the project and could not be as fast as she was because I had more workload than she did. Guess who now has the honor to write the 40-page documentation on the project? Yes, me. Because she could not keep her hands off the stuff I clearly marked as I will do that. Do not touch. Because she overwrote my code. In between, I was supposed to do the front end, so I created the website. The website was not pretty enough for her, so she threw away my work and did it herself. The whole project is just me doing something and her throwing that away and doing it her way. When I said that this is the reason why I prefer working alone, I got blamed. Be honest, am I the asshole? Everyone sucks here. Group work needs to be done as a group, meaning regularly meeting to discuss the division of labor and progress. You both dropped the ball on this, one tackling the project solo and the other being too hands-off initially. She overwrote your work, but maybe she wouldn't have felt the need to if clear communication and collaboration had been established from the start. In the end, both parties needed to put more effort into planning and discussing the project together. Am I the jerk for yelling at my friend's girlfriend and making her cry? My friend Sam and I have a complicated history. I was in an on and off relationship when I met Sam, who was breaking up with his girlfriend at the time. Although we did not immediately connect, we eventually warmed up to each other and became good friends. There was some initial tension and chemistry, but we got over it when my boyfriend and I mended our relationship and got engaged. I told my boyfriend about Sam, and although he was not happy, he understood and did not object to us staying friends. When Sam and his girlfriend broke up, he started dating one of my former friends a month later. I was not thrilled, but did not say anything. Later on, he started flirting with me, but I was focused on mending my relationship with my boyfriend. I talked to him about boundaries, and he understood, so we remained friends. A few days ago, I learned that Sam's current girlfriend was speaking ill of me to her friends, which I noticed through their hostility towards me. I told Sam, and he was upset and confronted his girlfriend. They talked, and afterward, he told me he was choosing peace over what was right. He explained that his girlfriend did not like our friendship given the history, and he would not be calling me again. He said if I needed anything, I could call him. I got very upset and felt like he was abandoning me to save himself and his girlfriend. I decided to focus on myself and my relationship and did not see or contact him for over a month. Later, we met accidentally while he was with his girlfriend. I did not say anything and moved away from them. When his girlfriend went to the washroom, he came up to me and said hi. I got so upset that I walked out of there. Later that day, I saw his girlfriend and decided to ask her why I was still involved in their relationship. I asked why, if they had decided not to talk to me, they could not stick to it and leave me alone. She cried and told me she never liked me and that my friendship with her boyfriend made her uncomfortable. She said she only expressed this to him and never asked him to stop talking to me. One of my friends, who knows the whole story, told me they were horrible to me and I was an asshole to them in return. My friend said what I did might even cause problems in their relationship and that others might also blame me for this, but I am not sure. Everyone sucks here. Neither of you should be having relationships if you're stringing along other people and making them miserable by hanging on to your inappropriate friendship. Either ask him to date you and give it a try, or delete his number and actually move on. It's not fair to keep a friend around who flirts with you and who you have feelings for while dating other people. Am I the jerk for trying to set boundaries for myself? # background. My partner and I have been together for almost 10 years. I have been dealing with his family and their undertone comments. They are white, and I am not. My father-in-law's favorite line during our relationship is, her favorite meal is fried chicken and watermelon, so we need to make sure we have that at every party. I am deeply in love with him, so every comment that was made or stated I let go. I have thick skin, so I could handle most comments. I was always told by everyone that this is who he is, and to pretty much ignore him, which I have done. Current situation, we have 2 wonderful children, aged 4 and 1. We moved back into my in-laws' house because of horrible living conditions. I found out shortly before we moved in that I was pregnant with our youngest. I asked my partner to keep it quiet for a while due to being extremely high risk after our first was born at 23 weeks of pregnancy. A normal pregnancy lasts 40 weeks. They did not keep it a secret. My in-laws were told within the first week of us living with them. I was very upset with him for telling, but I moved past it. Due to being high risk, I was put on mild bed rest at 19 weeks. I could not keep anything down. I had to go see a specialist 75 minutes away from home every week. I also could not be around my first child for more than 20-30 minutes because I got dizzy standing or sitting up for too long. Comments were made about how I should get my tubes tied or how lazy I was because I was not doing much for my child. I ended up being admitted to the hospital until the baby was born. We moved out shortly after having him, and I became distant from a lot of his family. I was berated for doing so. I never once stopped the boys from going over to see their family. I just chose not to go. I had a really bad mental breakdown and got postpartum depression. I was not helping out much with the new baby, and I could barely leave my bedroom. Moving back in after this, we decided to move back into my in-laws' house to save money and have round-the-clock care for the kids that I might not have been able to provide at all times. I have put up boundaries this time around, but unfortunately, a couple of comments are still being made either to me or behind my back. I want to go low contact for myself, and myself only. Both boys are more than happy to see the in-laws or go to family functions, as well as my husband. As for myself, I would like to just make appearances when it is healthy for me. I am in therapy a couple of times a week. My husband also works out of the home and is gone from Sunday night to Friday afternoon, so he does not see much while he is here. It is only the boys and myself staying. No one takes anything out on the kids, so I am completely comfortable sending them with their father for events. I've been trying to get back to being the best mother I can be for the boys. I understand my in-laws are helping with the youngest when I am having an attack and cannot care for him, but I would really like to set a boundary for myself. Am I the asshole in this situation? I think you are not in the wrong here, but it sounds really complicated. It's tough to set boundaries while still living under the same roof, and they might not take those boundaries seriously. You deserve to set boundaries and not be subjected to inappropriate or racist jokes. However, relying on them while pulling away doesn't sound healthy either. Am I the jerk for leaving my parent when they need financial help? I, a 19-year-old female, live at home with my mother, a 58-year-old female, and my younger sister, a 13-year-old female. I am currently going through exams and graduating this summer. After that, I was going to move out and work, but decided a few months ago that I would rather stay at home for another year and find some work around here. Right now, I do not have a job because of my exams and general pressure. My mother has had her own web shop for more than 20 years, though switching it up a few times, and has therefore always been a stay-at-home mom. She has made some not-so-good decisions throughout her life and now owes a lot of money to the bank and in taxes. Because of this, the government is going to take away her VAT number, which means she can't run a web shop anymore. She is devastated. Not only is she losing her dream job that she loves, but she is soon going to be an unemployed single mother. She is also scared about what will happen after her VAT number is gone. To get some extra money, she is going to sell her car. We live far out in the countryside, and my sister and I go to school in the city, so it's quite a problem without a car. My mom then sat me down and said that I needed to buy a car, which would become our family car, and I needed to be a personal chauffeur for my sister since my mom would be busy trying to find a new job. I was not okay with that. I know it is my mom and I should help her out, but I am going through a mentally exhausting period right now with exams. Plus, I don't have a job, so I have no idea how she expects me to pay for a car. She then got furious and said I was a brat and selfish, and that exams are not nearly as difficult as what she is going through. I would love to help her out, but it is just not possible for me at this moment. I don't quite understand how she doesn't see that. I have 2 older siblings, a 21-year-old female and a 29-year-old female, who are both way more financially stable than I am, but she said she doesn't want to bother them. Later, she also asked me to pay for our streaming subscriptions, and I said I would think about it. When I told my friend, she said I could just use theirs since they had an extra spot on their account. When I told my mom, she said again that I was selfish and that I kept turning my back on my family since I would be the only one with access to the streaming services now. I've been talking to some close friends about this, and they all say I should focus on myself and that my mom is the brat. Not me. It is my friends though, so they are kinda unqualified to take a side. I have been thinking about moving after I graduate. Again, it was the plan until a couple of months ago, but I'm scared it will damage my relationship with my mom too much to fix again. I don't know what to do, so am I the asshole? In my opinion, you have done nothing wrong here. Your mother's poor financial decisions are not your responsibility at any age. Focus on yourself and don't let her derail your life. If your older siblings are in a better position to help her, she should be asking them instead of relying on you. You need to find your own way, which might mean moving out and letting her deal with the consequences of her choices. Am I the jerk for telling my coworker I want my work project done right and to my satisfaction? So basically I, a 17-year-old female, am in foster care. My biological mother, a 40-year-old female, never cared for me or my siblings. She chose men over us and would constantly bring them around without actually knowing them, which resulted in a lot of unfortunate things happening. She never listened, only cared about herself, compared me to her, and only ever bothered to act right if it meant she got praised for it. My foster mother feels she needs to be in charge and acts as if she is the most loyal woman in the world, which she is not. Her way of religion is extremely backwards. An important factor you need to remember is she is big on family. She believes you should never tell or report your mother or father. She also believes you should worship the ground they walk on and always be grateful, no matter what they do. Now onto the problem. Today, my biological mother called my foster mother and told her I told my workers her and her current boyfriend were on live smoking and drinking. I did no such thing. I never even knew about this until I received that phone call, which automatically upset me because my mother never smoked before. But all of a sudden, she gets with this guy and she does? It was upsetting, but I ignored that feeling. I denied saying anything because I truly did not know what she was talking about. I told her my mother lied to her. My foster mother's response was, "If you're lying to me, it's on and popping," which I took as a threat but again ignored. I kept saying what I was telling her. CPS custody finds out everything, especially if you post it on social media, which is what her boyfriend did. He posted the live of them drinking and smoking and showcasing their bedroom, which easily could equal up to thousands of dollars by the looks of it. I ended up hanging up the phone and thought that was the end of it, but it wasn't. My worker called me, asking why my foster mother called her questioning the situation, which immediately upset me and made me realize I'll never be happy with her in my life. I've tried discussing how she makes me feel, but she victimizes herself and makes it seem like I'm the bad person, which leads to my foster mother yelling at me because she always calls her as if she's my real mother. I had it and knew if she stayed in my life, my child and I would never be happy. So I told them I wanted her rights for me taken away permanently and gave them my reasoning, which they agreed to because they saw how she was. Any advice would be nice. Thanks for reading. You are not the jerk. It sounds like the adults in your life have done a really good job of teaching you what not to do. You need to do what you think is best now, as it's obvious things aren't working for you. I wish you lots of luck. Am I the jerk for exposing a crush that I didn't even realize existed? I, a 24-year-old female, recently started hanging out with this friend group. Everyone is really nice and funny. I absolutely adore every single person, and I feel like I fit in well. I admit I have a mild crush on one of the guys, who we will call C, a 24-year-old male. He is well liked, and I felt like I clicked with him. He was a scrawny nerd growing up, and now he is tall, thick, and handsome, but still has that nerd energy. Despite his attractiveness, he does not realize he is fine. Being the person I am, I asked him out. He declined, and as a grown adult, I moved on. One of his closer friends in the group, a 25-year-old male, mentioned in passing that C has been infatuated with someone else for like 4 years, to the point where he does not interact with other women sexually or romantically at all. I figure I am infatuated, and I will be over it in a few months anyway, so it is not a big deal and not my business. Last weekend, we were all celebrating the birthday of an amazing, beautiful girl named D, who is a 24-year-old female. It was really fun and chill. We were playing games and listening to music. C got D Legos, which was silly but sweet. From my understanding, they are both a bit socially awkward and find solace in little tedious activities like that, so it was sweet and fitting. Later, D took a sip from her drink and flinched. She had gotten her septum pierced a few days before, and the can touching it felt weird. We all laughed, and someone suggested she touch it against someone else's septum. The only one there with a septum was C, and he immediately got blushy and giggly about it. D was down, but C was stalling. Finally, she pulled her lips in to avoid kissing him and bumped her nose ring against his. To everyone's disappointment, neither of them felt any shock or anything, but C was a mess. Now where I might be the asshole, I said, "Oh, D is the one you're down bad for," like a light bulb went on. Everyone sort of looked at me, and C pretty much turned white. D looked confused, but before much could happen, C's best friend started redirecting and everything went on like normal. I apologized privately to my friend who brought me into this group because there was a brief awkward moment that was my fault. C and D ended up in the kitchen building Legos together anyway, so I figured no harm was done. I noticed since then that pretty much everyone in the group has been silent. The friend who brought me in said everyone felt like I overstepped. Everyone knew that C was infatuated with D and had been for years, and sort of just let things go because they are both so awkward. It will happen when and if it happens. I defended myself and pointed out that another friend referred to C as D's lapdog, who always followed her around. but my friend said that was different. Both D and C expressed mild discomfort, but their best friends are the ones that are really upset with me. I would like to make it right, but part of me feels I am being treated unfairly for something I did not realize. Am I the asshole? You are the jerk here, OP, for publicly announcing your suspicions about whom he liked, especially during another friend's birthday. It made him uncomfortable and soured the experience for everyone, which is why your friends have distanced themselves. As the new person in the group, it's important to respect the existing dynamics. Own up to your mistake, apologize to everyone individually, and make an extra effort to move beyond your infatuation with this guy. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.